Well, hello and welcome along to another video. This time I'm going to be tackling the National Panasonic DR28 that I bought last week. I featured this in my last video, which is called Recent Finds, and it is all working. It's just got a few little issues which we need to take a look at. The first one is that the volume control is a little bit iffy. It's a little bit touchy around here, so after here it seems to work fine, but whether the wiper needs a clean up the front or the track's worn away, I don't know. It's either going to need cleaning or a replacement of the pot. The second issue is I've probably got an electrolytic capacitor failing somewhere, either in the power supply or in the audio, because at certain volumes you can see the light here fade in and out with the with the beat of the music, if there's any music playing. And the third issue, it's just pretty dirty. So that's the first thing I'm going to be tackling, actually, just giving it a clean, because I don't know if you can see this knob, but that's the sort of dirt. It's just ingrained, horrible dirt. So I want to get it cleaned up really before I start taking it apart. So the first thing we do is pull the knobs off. As you can see, that's got loads of brown ingrained dirt in it. So I'm going to get the knobs off, and then we're going to put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. This is my favourite part here. The water's a nice brown colour, and there's bits of dirt. I don't know if you can see there. Alright, I'm going to come back when these are finished. While we're waiting for the little Roberts to dry, I had a present through the post well over a week ago, which I meant to film the opening of when I was working on that Invicta radio, but over the last couple of weeks, as I've been on dad taxiing duties around Cambridgeshire, and also picking my missus up from various nights out, I've not had a chance to do any filming. So I thought, I can't leave this any longer. So this came from All the Gear, No Idea. So let's open it and see what's inside. Say, it's a rather pleasant surprise, this. Open it up. Oh, I've opened the wrong end, hang on. Have I opened the wrong end? It's because it's here. Like an idiot. And what have we got? Oh, looks like a clock, I think. A clock. That looks fun. Is it a clock? I think it is. Ha! That's going to test my soldering skills. What else have we got? Connectors. I'm not sure what they're for, actually. These XLR connectors or something. 2 pins. They're not XLR, are they? Because they're 3-way. Interesting. What's this? Oh, a little radio kit. Gosh, that looks fun. Ha! Is that SMD as well? That is really going to... No, it's not. It's through hole. can have some fun with that. What else have we got? Oh, some transistors. What are they? Those are YCH47. What are they? Just looking on my computer. It's not YCH47. What are they? That must be the manufacturing code. A1015. A1015. PNP epitaxial silicone transistor for audio frequency amplifiers. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Audio frequency amplifier. That should be fun. Oh, cheers, Chris. What else? Another connector. And some USB thumb drives. Well, thanks very much, Chris. That's absolutely awesome. Thanks very much. I'm going to have so much fun. That is really going to test me because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be when I was modelling. I used to be a professional model maker many years ago. I haven't got a lot around here left now, but I used to work in the film industry. And let's have a look. This is something. This is the sort of thing that I used to make for films. So this is, I can't hold it upright, but this is, let me just put my fingers on it. This is the sort of thing that I used to make. Very detailed models. Right, we're just going to start cleaning it now. I did the knobs. They come up really well in the ultrasonic cleaner. Right, so all I'm going to do is just basically give it a wipe down because it's not dirty, but it's dusty, and I don't like my workbench being full of dust, so this is all I'm going to do. Just give it a wipe down. There's loads of dust in these recesses here, which might be our problem with the volume control. Might just be dirty, and there's a nice big hole there and lots of dust in here. And loads in there. So in a minute, when I've done this front and got all the dust out of the way, what I'm going to do is take the back off. And just see how that goes. Now there's also an option for a sunshade that fits in here. So, although it didn't come with one, I might make one. Just looks like card or thin sheet plastic or something. That's a bit of a nightmare to get out. The knobs are quite hard to pull off, especially this one. This was real hard to get off, but they do actually pull off. There's no grub screws. That is a bit in need of a clean. These black handles hopefully are going to come up alright, because that was sticky tape or something on those. There's a little bit of paint loss on that one. Right. Pretty dirty. You don't really want dust getting back inside your radio when you're working on the boards and stuff. You don't have to clean it out again. Yeah, it's all in the recesses here. It's just bits of hair. You probably can't see it on the video, but I can assure you it is a pretty dirty radio. Much more interesting in this video other than me giving this a wipe down, but we'll have the back off and we'll have a look inside. Right. Looking better already. Hopefully this is in focus, because otherwise waste of me filming. This switch, this is the BFO switch, and all the signals go through that switch, evidently. I don't know whether that's a glare off the... I haven't got anything on my lens. So all the signals go through the BFO switch, so that needs a very good clean, evidently. Right, now the back's probably going to be easier to clean. If you can see, loads of years of dust in there, which I do not want back inside the set. No way I'm going to get that off quickly without taking it down and putting that in the sink, because that won't come off with a little wipe. Also going to have to replace that foam in the back there, because that's gone all... It's not too bad, it's not coming apart, but it's gone soft. Although this set is not going to be run on batteries really. Right, let's it's a permanent paint mark there or something. Right, I did notice yesterday there was a stain under there. Right, that's much better than it was. Got the worst of the dust off. Right, let's get the back off. Right, here she is, rather more presentable. I've got most of the dust off. There's still a little bit of grunge in there where the moisture's dried away and left a bit of a tide stain there, or tide mark. Now, I was filming taking the back off, but halfway through it I dropped something and said a really rude word. So I've cleaned the back now, so I'll have to not show you that section. It's just held on by 6 screws. And I still have some little bit of dirt there, which I'll get rid of at a later date, but at least most of the dust has gone. There's the inside, has a neon bulb here across the two antenna inputs to prevent static discharge into your set. So if there is any static, this will just glow. The aerial sits here, and that's quite a thin unit for such a long aerial. And this side's the back of the battery box. Right, let's spin around and we'll have a look at the back in all our glory. Right, so what we have here, we have the incoming AC mains. Here there's a voltage selector switch there for European or UK, or 115 volts or whatever it is, sorry, not European, US or UK. So you've got 115, I think it's 115. Yeah, 110 to 125 or 200 to 240 voltage selection. Obviously you've got a speaker, the power supply goes off, the 2 wires running into this board here, so I assume that's the amplifier board here, tucked away at the back here. It's stacked on top of each other. This is quite a modular radio. Got the RF board here, and then we've got the big tuning drum here, which is, I think on the other side there's a couple of cogs and then a toothed band, so you can tune in, you know, that'll move your dial scale. That's the word I'm looking for. We've got the back of the frequency counter unit here. We've got these 5 Molex type plugs there that will need to come off and pull this board out. But my suspicions are mostly on this capacitor here. As I say, the light on the front is dimming in time with any speech or music, or, you know, where you've got a bass beat, the light will dim in time to it. So the obvious suspects are this one here, which sees AC ripple across it every time it's plugged into the main, so that might be a little bit tired. And the other suspects are going to be in the amplifier board. Now, one way of doing any fault finding like this is to use your intuition and your experience. If you're not experienced, then you need to go back to basics. And obviously if you're going back to basics, you'll need to check everything here and then just highlight it as you've checked it off. There's plenty of videos showing you how to do that. This is quite a complicated set really, so if you're a beginner I wouldn't recommend you even think about working on this radio really, because you'll mess it up. Especially this board here. You do not want to touch any of these little cans with little screws in them. You never want to touch any of those, especially on a radio like this one, because you could wreck it really quickly and you'll get nothing through. So the next steps are to get this board out, replace that capacitor there, and that's probably a good thing to do anyway. Even if the set was working absolutely perfectly, would be to replace that one just for maintenance sake. So that's what I'm going to do next, and that will be coming up in part 2. So anyway, thanks for watching.